Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I thought it would be really cool if I did a chit chat, get ready with me type video. You know, I saw something a couple weeks ago, like at the start of this month on Instagram, and it was that we literally have 6 months left, well, about 5 months now, left of 2019. And so, you know, make the rest of the months count. And so that got me to thinking. And at the start of the new year, I made a list of goals for myself, for that, you know, goals for my husband and I. And I wanted to do my makeup, talk to you all if I have reached any of those goals, had to table any of those goals for like another year, you know, because I'm like, try to, you know, bite off more than I could chew, you know, and are there any goals that I'm currently working on? So yeah, let's go ahead and jump right into video. Also, don't forget to subscribe down below. Make sure you like this video. And as always, I will have my Instagram in the description bar. It is Sarah K. Kramer, and I would love if you would go give me a follow on Instagram. I post all the time. You know, I do makeup looks. I post about, you know, mama style, lifestyle. I'm like lifehood, lifestyle, mamahood, wifehood, all things in between. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump on into my get ready with me. Okay, everybody. So to start, as always, I have my Diet Coke in my large mason jar and my paper straws. So to start, I'm not one that like sits and like writes down my goals for myself. I just feel like I know the goals like that I want for myself, and I know how I should, you know, go about achieving those goals. But and by the way, I'm doing like a super basic makeup look today, like super basic, because we are not doing anything. But I still wanted to film today. So back to what I was saying. I just really, since becoming a mom and, you know, really, I turned 30 this year. And I just felt like I had some goals for myself that I knew I wanted to achieve, but I figured I could manifest achieving those goals if I wrote them down. So the goals that I wrote down for myself, and I wrote these down, it's like the day after New Year's. So the goals that I wrote down for myself are, the first one was, so I broke them down into a professional goal, marriage goal, a goal for myself as a mother, and then my personal goals. So my professional goal, I'm like looking for my beauty blender. My professional goal is I wanted to speak my mind more freely in the workplace. Now, what I mean by that is if I didn't agree with something or if I disagreed with something, I would speak up. Now, for those of you who don't know, my full-time job is I'm a special ed teacher. I teach at the middle school level, so that's grades 6, 7, and 8. I do special ed science, and I really, really like it. I do mild mod, so I have a lot of kids that have, you know, just learning disabilities, like a processing, auditory, you know, ADHD, you know, just as I call it, the lively bunch. Send me the lively kids. I love them. So anyways, I lost my train of thought. I would always just like go with the flow, and I was like, okay, and like if I didn't like something, like if it was like a major deal breaker for me, like I would speak up. But other than that, I would kind of like just grit and bear it. But my husband, on the other hand, he like inspired me to speak freely in the workplace, because in his workplace, you know, there were some things going on, and he would speak up. And he would come home and tell me about it, and it just like really inspired me. So that was one goal for myself. And when I returned back to work in January, I really like followed that goal, and it was so crazy at how like the positive response that I received from my coworkers. You know, this coming school year that starts in like I start back to work in a week, but this is only gonna be my 4th year teaching, and the positive response that I received from like veteran teachers and, you know, even my admin I was very surprised at. I did not think I would receive such positive feedback about speaking up. And so that is definitely a goal that I would say I have without a doubt achieved. So goal number 1, I achieved. Now, my second goal was for my marriage. My husband and I have been together for 10 years, and you know, in that 10 years, we've grown together. We have, you know, gone through a lot of stuff together. But one thing that, you know, at times we lack on is our communication with one another. I'm using my new concealer. Is our communication with one another. We just almost like assume that we should know what the other person wants or, you know, is thinking. And so that was a goal that I had set for myself, but for our marriage this year, was to communicate better. And especially now since we have our son. I will say we definitely communicate better. I will say that we still have times where we, you know, expect that we should just like assume what the, you know, what the other person is thinking or what the other person wants. But I feel like that's super common in relationships, not even like marriage or like, you know, relationships with like a significant other, but whether it be like a friendship, like you expect your best friend to just know, you know, that you're upset over something, or, you know, you expect someone in the workplace to just know that, you know, you want something done a certain way because that's how you do it. Well, that's one thing I learned is when you assume something and you don't communicate, you're setting the other person up for failure. And that's just not cool, like at all. And I tell my students this all the time at work. I'm like, you can't go and be upset that somebody, you know, for example, unfollowed you on Instagram, okay? So they unfollowed you, okay, that's fine. You know, at the middle school level, that can be a huge thing. But you can't be mad, you know, and ignore the person. And then that friend is like, well, why are they mad at me? Why are you mad at me? And then you're like, I'm not talking to you. Well, tell your friend, I'm upset with you because you unfollowed me on Instagram. Or I'm upset with you because you didn't want to, you know, eat lunch with me. Or in my case, if my husband is like, you know, hey, I want to go somewhere. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. But in my head, I'm like, why? No, I don't want you to go. You know, and then he ends up going. I can't get mad at him because I didn't communicate to him that, actually, I want you to stay home and hang out. But, you know, my husband, disclaimer, he is a mega homebody. But that's just, you know, a perfect example. So I will say our communication has gotten a lot better. And I also, in my postpartum, have learned that for some reason, and I'm going to do a whole video on this, like another get ready with me type video, but for some reason I felt like I couldn't ask for help, like with you know, crew. And I mean, I wouldn't even ask my husband, his name is Corey, I wouldn't even ask Corey for help. And so I got this, like, for some reason, idea in my mind that I was the only person who could take care of him. I was the only person who could do anything. And, you know, it got to where I just wasn't very happy, and I just kind of got me into like a really bad headspace. So I've learned that, you know, if crew is playing and Corey's straight chilling, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go take a shower. That's what I did today. And more about 9 times out of 10, Crew and Corey, they come up the stairs because Crew loves climbing up and down the stairs. He'll come up the stairs and he comes into the bathroom and he plays in the cupboards, but I call it he's going shopping. So anyways, you know, that is something, definitely a goal that I would say I've achieved, is realizing that I'm not alone in this journey of parenthood. I have an actual list right here on my phone. So I'm like reading off my list. Next, like probably the biggest goal for myself and for my husband this year was to buy a house. And check! We bought a house. We bought a house in May. We opened escrow in April. And we bought it in May. We've been in our home now about 2 months. And I could not be happier. For some reason, like the thought of buying a home would literally like make me nauseous. I don't know why. I'm going in with my new pressed powder, so I'm going to try it out today and see how I like it. But for some reason, it would like make me so nervous and nauseous, and like I would never entertain the idea, ever entertain the idea of buying a house. And I don't know, my husband and I, it was like maybe March, over my spring break from work. He was like, babe, do you want to just start looking at houses? And I was like, you know what? Okay, yeah, let's go. So we went to look at houses, and it didn't cause me to get sweaty. It didn't cause me to be like, and I was like, wait, maybe I'm ready. Maybe I'm ready to take the plunge. I mean, lo and behold, I was more ready to get married and to have a baby than I was to buy a house. And I realized my stress was buying a house is no joke. It's no joke. The amount of money it takes to buy a house is no joke. And my stress was, you're not taught how to buy a house in school. I always say we need to do a class teaching kids how to buy a house, or, teaching kids about the hidden costs of buying a house. And so we bought a house. It was actually a house that we put an offer on, and the seller countered us, and we countered our best and final, and she didn't accept it. She went with a higher offer, but that offer, the financing didn't work out. So about 2 weeks into after she didn't accept our offer, my mother-in-law, who was our realtor, got a phone call from the seller's agent, and the seller's agent was basically like, hey, is your client still interested? And this house that we bought, it was like Corey and I's dream home. Like, God did us a straight solid with this house. And so I'm going with blush first today, switching it up, see how I like it. But God did us a straight solid with this house. Our neighborhood is amazing. I love it. I am by myself a lot just because of what Corey does for work. And so, it was important to me that I was in a neighborhood that I felt safe in. I use a blush in this palette and I really liked it. It was important to me that I was in a neighborhood where I felt safe in. And this neighborhood is like, I just love it. So, we bought a house, and like everything has just like fallen into place. And I knew when like the timing was right for us, like that everything would work out and fall into place. And that is something that I've definitely learned this year, is what's meant to be will be. And as long as you keep faith and you do right by what, you are wanting. And what I mean by do right is, you don't lie, you don't cheat, you don't steal, and you just try to live, just be like good people, just like good down to earth people, and you work hard, that God will do you solid. Life won't just hand you lemons. Life is going to hand you that lemonade. And then it's up to you to add the sugar and all the sweet stuff. So we bought a house. I love it. Our son, it's so happy, makes me so happy that we're going to be able to raise our son in this home. And, when we have any other children, bring them home to this home that my husband, Corey and I worked so hard for, and we are just so appreciative. So, house bought, done, check. I was like, yes, please. And it was honestly the home buying process was not nearly as terrible as I was expecting it to be. I mean, I've heard horror stories of buying a house, and I was like, oh God, it borderline gave me hives. It made my armpits sweat. It made my hands itch. Legitimately, would make me sweat. And oh God, it was just terrible. So, house buying process was a success. We've got that done. And, Corey and I did it on our own. And it's something that we can always be proud of. And it's just, it's just cool. So, my other goals were for myself as a mama. What did I want for myself as a mother? This whole journey of becoming a mom, no one prepares you for it. Nobody. And, I have learned a lot. I definitely have grown immensely. And, one thing, basically my goal for myself as a mother was know that others can come for my son just as much as I can, and continue, my journey with nursing and pumping to 6 months, 9 months, and 12 months. Well, I'm happy to report that the nursing, how I feed my son, that whole journey, I have reached now 12 plus months. But, I'm using this Pixie highlight, and I never ever use it, Pixie by Petra. in the shade Peach Honey, and I'm really liking it. I'm just going ham with the highlighter today. Anyways, you know, I'm so proud to report that, to say that I have been able to achieve 12 plus months of nursing and pumping. And I'll tell you right now, I hate pumping. It's the worst dang thing. But hey, you know what? Mamas out there know that you do it for your little one. Now, as far as the comforting, my son, dear old crew, he's at a stage right now where he wants me. Like, that's like the only person he wants is his mom. And it's a very natural stage, and so it's fine. If I'm not around, then others can come for him. The second he sees me, everyone is chopped liver. He wants nothing to do with you. He only wants me, and he doesn't care if I'm carrying 10 million bags of whatnot. Oh my God, I just realized I did not prime my face. It's okay. We improvise. I wanted to use this little buddy. It's okay though. Next video, I'll remember to prime my face. Sorry, it's like so hot. My filming room is black and white, and I'm not filming against like my background wall because we have a bed not put together yet leaning up against that wall. So that's why y'all get to see the closet. But anyways, he's able to be comforted, but the second I'm around, he's like, no, he doesn't want to deal with anybody. I'm actually going to go ahead. I'm going to do my brows off camera because it takes me a hot second, and then I will be right back because I literally actually only have just my personal goals to go through, and we'll call this video done. All right, everybody, I'm back. So for my brows, I used Anastasia Brow Wiz like I always use, my Ulta Beauty brow gel that I always use, but I also today, to make my brows look a little more bold, I use the Essence Make Me Brow in the shade Blonde. Yeah, Blondy Brows. I think I actually might leave my makeup like this. I'm kind of, oh, you know what? No, I lie. I'm going to throw some bronzer on my crease. And then I'm actually going to leave my makeup. I'm not putting mascara on today. I'm definitely vibing with this like super natural looking look. So there we go. Perfect. So for my last step, as always, I'm also, for my lips today, I'm going to go with my Dior Lip Glow. This is in the shade Pink. And obviously set my face. After that dries, I'll curl my lashes, and then we will be done. So for my last, my shirt's off the shoulder, but it always rides up. So for my last like set of goals that I had set for myself, they were more like personal goals, like things that, you know, I wanted to do for myself to help myself be better. Like I said, when I made my goals, I was in like a pretty, like, it was like a pretty gnarly headspace, like, not gonna lie. But hey, I'm out of that headspace. And it wasn't like a depression. It was more or less like I was so overwhelmed and I just felt like I was so alone. So, you know, take that as you may. I think it was more like an anxiety. Like I would feel super anxious like every single day. But, you know, I still have my bad days, but I have far more good days than I do have bad days. So my personal is I wanted to work on my mental happiness and know that I can take time for myself. I would get so guilty if I would even like take a shower. Like honestly, like I'd be like, oh my God, I'm away from my baby, and you know the world's gonna come crashing down, and you know my husband's gonna get mad at me because the baby's crying. And it's like, no, like I can take a shower. You can wash your underarms and your backside. Like it's okay. So I've learned, you know, that that's okay. ultimately, I knew I needed to take time for myself because it was going to allow me to be a better like mother and wife. You know, before I had crew, I got my nails done every 2 weeks. I was like, as I did my makeup very regularly, I did my hair all the time, and so just becoming a mother like really forced me to kind of adjust my priorities, and have since learned how to adjust those priorities. So we're working on that. This one I haven't done yet. This is better educate myself on how to use the gym. When I was pregnant, I literally worked out like 5 to 6 days a week. Like I was insane. And since having crew, I just go on my little walks. But you know, that might be a goal I'll table for next year. And my last but not least, or sorry, not last but not least, another one is I wanted to put work into my YouTube and my social media. I definitely have realized that doing this, you know, sitting down, doing my makeup and filming and talking to you all, like, it brings me so much happiness, and it's like truly like a therapy to me, like sitting here with all my makeup in front of me. It's like my treasures. But it's something that, you know, Corey is very supportive of. It's something all of my family, both on my husband's side and, you know, my side, everyone is very supportive of, and I just love it. Like I can't express it. Like I enjoy sitting down and filming and editing and posting and, you know, posting on my Instagram. It's just so fun to me. Like I do this as my hobby, and I feel, even though I'm a mother, like it is okay to have hobbies and to do something that you enjoy, and makeup is something that allows me to get very happy, and to stay happy. So I'm busting my backside because it's fun to me. Like I really just genuinely enjoy it. And my last one is focus on what's important, and that is Corey, me, and crew. I could cry. My family means the world to me, and I'm super excited about it, and I love having a family. And you know, I always worried about like everybody else, you know, on top of us, and you know, the three of us, and I realized that I need to worry about the family that I've created with Corey, and you know, him and Bubs are, you know, and our dog Linus, you know, they're my priority. And yeah, so far so good. So yeah, I hope you guys all enjoyed this Get Ready With Me. You know, I think this is the most I've opened up in a video like ever. And so, you know, let me know down below what some of your goals are, and, you know, if you've achieved any of those goals, or, you know, let me know if, you know, you feel the same way I do. Like if you're a mom, like if you were guilty or anything, you know, and you had a hard time finding time for yourself, or just anything. Like I just want to, you know, get to know you all. And yeah, so I would let me know if you guys would like to see a video on like my 12 months, like my first year as a mom, like things I learned, things I wish I knew, you know, after having, you know, before I had crew. So yeah, that is a video I'm probably going to do as I Get Ready With Me. But yeah, so, and here's the makeup look. I like it. So, as always, I will put the products that I used today down below. This, I'm really liking it so far. It didn't cover up my break. I have 3 like current breakouts, and I have some dark spots. It didn't cover them up great, but I mean, it covered them up enough. So yeah, as always, thank you for your support, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.